Can you recognize what it is?
It's a ball. No, it looks like some fruit.
Can you name it?
Is it like, I'm not really sure actually. Pumpkin? Some sort of pumpkin?
So, like, you asked me about science of reading and why I have, brought this. The learners, those who are sitting in our classroom today, are the future, right? So, we are actually nurturing future, and having this forward-looking approach with a backward plan is highly important. Reading is early literacy, and reading are the building blocks of whatever a child is doing in the long run in his or her life, right?
They find it so difficult when they even go to higher grades, no matter how sharp they are, no matter how strong cognitive skills they have. If they're not understanding what the educator is telling in the class, it becomes really difficult to grasp, which is why we are actually doing a very specific event on this whole topic, bridging foundational gaps.
We all are really looking up to, and it's indeed a great topic because you are trying to get at the root cause of everything, I would say. Misconceptions about science of reading is that it is all about phonics, but phonics is a component of it. People often misinterpret science of reading as a kind of one-size-fits-all approach, or an approach which is an intervention, something like that, which it is not. So science of reading is a body of research, I would say an interdisciplinary body of research, which takes in information from various disciplines like cognitive sciences, education, and so on and so forth. And they just let us know that what are the best ways to read, how to read, and how does students take up reading, which skills should be taken first, and what should be the sequential order. The reading equation as per the science of reading is reading comprehension multiplied by decoding equal to language comprehension. So this is the emphasis of science of reading. It's not just reading for the sake of reading with comprehension, reading with understanding of the letter and sound relationship, reading with understanding of decoding those words, segmenting, blending, making the sense out of it. We are Indians and we love our diversities. For example, if I am talking about Johnny and Harry in an Indian context, so it would not fit in, right? So I need to bring in those names. If I am sitting in South, so I need to talk about Pongal, right? I need not to talk about what I am celebrating here in Bangladesh as Pohela Baishakh, right?
So I think that's why in NEP also there's a lot of emphasis on localization and making students aware of their local culture. I would also like to know if there are any real-life case studies in your experience where the science of reading has been successfully applied, either in India or globally.
Success stories that is coming all the way from Australia, where they use a direct instruction approach, and 75% of students are reading at or above the grade level, right?
Challenges might the educators in developing countries face when trying to implement the science of reading?
If you are familiar with John Hattie's work, you must be knowing that he has done a meta-analysis. He has taken research from all over the world and has come up with some of the scale which shows us that what are the most effective methods of teaching young minds. Playing around with keeping 10 students with one teacher or giving a very nice setup, but it will not make a difference as powerful and as stronger as keeping the children with an effective teacher. And whom do we call an effective teacher? An effective and effective, I would say both. The teacher should have amazing effective skills as well. One of the principles that I really love is connection before correction, I would say.
मतलब कि अब इस पूरी सीरीज में से like दो चीज तो मेरे बिल्कुल it just kind of pierced through my heart. One is that Pomelo analogy, and then the other thing that you said, connection before correction. I mean, from first principle also, it's so very evident that, small children, now just diving a little deeper, so getting into little technicalities, they have a favorite teacher, and that is the subject that they excel in. What role does early intervention, especially in terms of phonics and decoding, play in improving reading outcomes under the SOR framework?
Teacher who was, talking about a learner, and she was discussing that the learner is unable to identify identify the letters of the alphabet, and I was like shocked. How come in grade 2? We had a discussion with the counselor that we have, the SEN counselor, and he spoke about that he does not have a learning disability. He might be having a learning gap, and we started with the phonics approach, even though the child is in grade 2. So if the right intervention would have been applied on this learner, he would have not been struggling in grade.
There is a lot of buzz in the market about Finland's education system, right? They have been scoring top on this ACER exams and all that. And then when I was researching about it, there was so much emphasis on reading, right? They also have something like, drop everything and read some DEAR framework in
Dear
their
time.
school. Yeah, DEAR time. Multilingual thing is very difficult because there are so many languages, so many regions. Although in all the education policies, there is a lot of emphasis on multilingual, but it gets difficult to kind of implement in schools.
Successful model. You can research more about South Africa. The program name is Early Grade Reading Study, where phonic based instructions were adapted for multiple local languages, resulting in significant improvement in reading outcomes across languages.
Every student has a different learning gap, and it becomes important to find it early on. You need a little kind of projection also to understand, okay, this might lead to this. So what role do you think the technology can play here?
Personalized learning is something where comes learner agency. Learner is taking the decision, what is my learning route and where to go next. So this will come at a little advanced level. Before that comes differentiation, right? Not all learners learn in the same way. When we have a teacher-student ratio, which is an alarming thing, right? And we can't expect a teacher who's handling 50 student or 40 student to give that individual one-to-one intervention. So in this case, adaptive technology, which can generate the learning routes for the learners as per his or her understanding level or the comprehension level or the reading level. This comes as a support, I would say. The visual, auditory and kinesthetic learners are the three things which we can, look into while planning the instruction. So technology in the hands of great teacher.
Just the importance of assessments and data-driven interventions in applying the science of reading in low resource settings.
So for example, you are a gardener and you have planted a plant, right? And what will you focus more on? Measuring the plant or providing the plant with the optimum nourishment, coming up with the right kind of seed, the right kind of soil and all those things. So if your focus is only on measuring, then your assessment is actually killing the learning. But if your focus is monitoring, documenting, evidencing, supporting, then your assessment is actually helping. Two important components which we usually miss in the Indian context is the power of self-assessment and the power of peer assessment. If as a peer I'll keep on speaking about, okay, you do this, you do that, you have got a problem here and problem there, they may not listen because already I have authoritative role in the classroom. Utilizing technology for assessing, right? This will save the time of the teachers. Why? Because we are talking about applying science of reading in the context of India, and not all Indian classroom are having a very healthy student-teacher ratio.
Forward to working closely with you on this specific module of NEO. It's been a great evening chatting with you. I hope you also enjoyed.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I'm really grateful for the opportunity that you have provided and the wonderful platform that you have created for all like-minded educators to come, share and create something. I would say it's really a great approach that you have come up with.